day, wonderful viewers. Welcome back. This is your program called the Gam-writers program. Well, before we go further, please try by all means to subscribe, like, and of course share our videos. Okay. Today, as I mentioned earlier, this is your favorite program, the Gam-writers program. Today, I have a very talented boy sitting right beside me. Before any other thing, I would love for him to introduce himself to the audience out there. Young man, how are you doing? And welcome to our program today. And please, can you introduce yourself to the wonderful audience out there?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Ebrima, known as the philosophical poet. And then
Ibrahima, thank you so much for introducing yourself. Ibrahima, the philosophical poet. Ibrahima, is definitely a pleasure, and of course, it's an honor to be here, to see you here on our platform today. In short, you are welcome here today, okay? Ibrahima, as I was trying to make an introduction here, the program is all about the Gam-writers program. And actually, you were figured out, and then we realized that Ibrahima, the philosophical poet, is definitely a Gambian writer, a Gambian young writer for that matter. Who have achieved a lot, I can say.
Yeah.
So, Ibrahima, if I may ask you, why do you think it's good to write? I mean, as a Gambian young writer, I mean, when you do something, that must be, it must be something that is good to you. So, why do you think it's good to be a writer?
yeah, so first of all, I will do this. Thank you for having me today.
Okay.
And then
welcome.
The reason why I believe that I can be a writer is I believe writing or poetry is another fastest way to convey a message to the people, and also writing is another way to express yourself, express your feelings and your thoughts. Yeah, that's why I went into writing.
Okay, Ibrahim, that's interesting, and I think I've heard you. It's something that you can, relate to people. I mean,
Yeah.
now, Ibrahim, actually, you were trying to, let me say, put it to yourself. So, in general, if I ask this question, I mean, why do you think it's good to be a writer? Let me just answer the question, but let me say it. You answer it,
Yeah, I understand.
openly. Yes.
Being a writer is very important, and then it helps a lot. It helps you to express yourself.
Okay.
It helps you, especially when you are a student, because most of the students that are poets right now, they can relate to what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It is in a form of helping you to build up your speaking skills, your confidence, and also your writing skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. It's something that will help you on whatever you're doing, especially your writing skills, speaking skills, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, Ibrahima, like most Gambian, I can say, let me say, what the problem that they are facing, especially we do say, like, it's a culture to us. Reading is, let me say, we're not meant for reading. Like, people don't read at all. You understand? So, but then what I realize is many people go in for writing, as you rightly mentioned. It's good to be a writer. But do you think being a writer without being a good reader, can you be a good writer without being a good reader?
For that one, actually, one of my mentors always tell me that, which is mentor boy.
Okay.
He always tell me that if you want to be a good writer, you must be a good reader.
Okay.
You cannot just start writing, and also when you read, it can help you to come across with certain things that are new to you, so that you use that thing and express yourself, develop yourself.
Okay.
Good. So you must be a good reader before you write.
Okay, then it's important to be a good reader before being a good writer. And actually, these are things I think that goes together.
Read and writing.
Yes, you cannot just be a good writer and then, on the other hand, you are not a good reader. I believe it's important to be reading different books as a young writer, I believe.
Writer, yeah.
So, to the young writers out there, this is definitely a very good lesson to you. Try by all means to visit libraries, I believe.
Libraries.
Yes.
And there are so many books that you can have as a source of reference that can help you develop your writing skills and also express yourself with different words. As a poet or a writer, if you are fond of reading, there will come a certain point that you express or you play the language in how you wish and expressing yourself, and people will understand what you're trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can get all those expressing yourself when you read.
When you read, the only secret code is reading.
Okay. Then it's important to read, guys. Let's try by all means to make sure that reading is us.
Yeah.
Let it be a culture to us, not like a ceremonial, like many people do it occasionally. So let's try by all means to make it something in us, whether here or there, you know. So Ibrahima, I believe you are a poet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think as a poet, I mean, there are many things. Like I have a question on that poetry aspect because also you cannot just do poetry without involving yourself in writing, I believe.
Yeah.
So many people do make this argument, like whether poetry is a spoken word or is it an entertainment or whatsoever. So if you can you tell us in detail what poetry is actually, because it's part of writing, I believe.
Yeah, poetry is all about expressing yourself and trying to explore your deep ideas or deep imagination and make sure that you turn them into something that whoever is listening or reading what you write, it will create something in the mind.
Okay.
So poetry, basically poetry is a way of expressing yourself. Yeah.
So it's not just about entertainment.
No, it's not just about entertainment. There are some poets when you listen to what they wrote or what they released.
Okay.
If you listen to it, you will learn. Let me take an example of myself. There's a poem that I wrote, The Molester.
The Molester.
It contains a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so it contains something like, because you say a lot. Can you just give us hints about it?
You know that poem. Before I wrote it, I was from studies going home. Then I was in a car. I heard someone in a radio saying that he knows somebody who was raped by the uncle, and then because of family issues, they settled things down.
Okay.
And that's how it ended. So right there, I started writing. Then when I reached home, I continued the poem. It is all about rape.
So it's because of something that you have just heard from the radio. That's what motivated you to come up with that.
That's
so,
why I got the motivation.
Okay, so if I may ask, was that just like, is it a motivation? Like it was just a motivation to you for the first time for you to involve yourself in poetry or writing aspect?
No,
or you were before. Were you a poet before?
Before, yeah, I was a poet before.
Okay, but what you have just heard from the radio motivated you to write something.
Yeah, when I heard the message, I was like, yeah, I think I can write something about it, and this is something that is affecting our society, and I think it can be a source of remediation for our society, like bringing awareness, spreading the message.
Exactly. So it seems like poetry doesn't just focus on the entertainment aspect,
no.
But then still it also make people to be aware of something, and of course for them to also learn something out of it, I believe.
Yeah, basically for me, all the poems I write, all the poems that I have written so far, they all contain messages, not only entertainment. I only have one poem that has entertainment, and that one is a love poem. Apart from that one, all the poems I'm writing what I'm seeing in our society.
That's important and that's interesting. I believe this is something that people have to be mindful of, especially the writers. When you're writing, especially like this writing stuff, when you are in poetry, I mean, poetry is a spoken word, I believe.
Yeah.
And when you are saying something, these are things that people have to learn. I mean, when I'm sitting, listening to your poems, I should learn something out of it. And this is important, writing something that is related to our society. You made mention about, you heard something about rape, and then it was something they do it in a family stuff, and then, maybe they were saying, let the sleeping dog lie, stuff like that. So you were motivated by that, and then you start making sure that these things must be heard, and then people have to know what is actually going on. So this is important. Still now at the poetry aspect, Ibrahima, as a philosophical poet, I believe, how do you see comparing the poetry industry in the Gambia and the music industry? How do you compare them, if you were to compare?
Actually, the poetry scene, I can say it is growing bit by bit, but not how we need it. Like the music is there because they are supporting them. The artists themselves, they are supporting each other. That's what we are lacking in the Gambian poetry industry. Okay. And also we lack platforms like this to showcase our talents.
Okay.
Yeah, with the music industry already. So they are there. Okay. So we are also hoping one day, inshallah, we will fill up venues like QCD. I believe that poets can fill QCD.
Exactly. Sure.
Just depend on the work and the promotion and also support.
Exactly. So this is interesting, I believe, because you made mention about there are two main things that you people are lacking. That is the collaboration between among yourself, I believe, and the platform created for you people. I mean, these are things that we also have to advocate for. The young, let me say, the high authorities, I mean, the authorities out there, we can also say, like, you people should also help the young writers who are out there. I mean, but actually, you made mention about the collaboration among you people is lacking, which you people need to work on. Because you made mention the music industry. The music industry, they are far away from you people simply because they themselves, they are collaborate. I can say maybe, probably,
Okay, sure, yeah.
but you people are just behind because the collaboration is lacking. So
It's
these are
lacking.
things that you have to work on. So what do you think you people can do to minimize that lack of collaboration among yourself?
There is this thing I always tell to one of my mentees, which is you can only rise by lifting others. You cannot rise alone.
Serious.
Yeah. So the only way that we can develop ourselves and help ourselves by lifting our industry is we work as one. We work as one because we all have the same dream, or we all have the same aim of educating our society and trying to bring remediation to our society. So there is nothing like beefing like in the music industry. We don't have that in the poetry.
Okay.
So it is easier to work together and then try to figure out a way that we can bring remediation of our
Exactly.
society and lift our industry.
It's important.
It's important.
Definitely. So I believe that is very important. Like whatever we start, whatever we are doing, especially when we are solving problem, let it start at the grassroots. I believe when it start there, things might work. But if like the people out there, let me say, those who want to support you people, if they don't see that collaboration among you people, might be like discouraged. So it's important for you to do that. And I believe you made mention about the platform being created to you people. This is always what I've been advocating for. I mean, especially the young writers. They should be created a platform. A platform should be there for them also to showcase their talent.
Yeah.
Not only the writers, but then young talented somebody. I mean, an individual who is very talented in one way or the other. Most people are talented in creativity. Others, this and that. So it's important for them to have this platform, for them also to showcase their talent, because these are things that will motivate them to keep on going. So it's important. So I believe the media house out there also should make sure that things work, because I will give kudos to SS Media, who is there for you people, because I believe this platform is there for the young writers out there, for them also to come on board and showcase their talent. That's very important. So still at the writing aspect of it, I believe Ibrahima, the philosophical poet, we cannot talk about writing without talking about this subject in the schools that we're doing, literature. Well,
Okay.
Ibrahim, before I go, let me just ask you, which field do you study?
I'm studying commerce as a field.
You're studying commerce. Interesting. This is definitely interesting. I have a question for you. Like many people, you're sitting here because of you are a writer. That is the reason why you're invited here. So many people do think this or do say this, like, if you are not an art student, you are not good to be a writer or a debater or whatsoever. So do you think this mindset that people are having, is it something real? Can you please help us?
No, because even one of my mentors, poet Mr. Principal, he is also a commerce student, also a very good writer.
Okay.
Yeah, alongside with Mr. Penn. So first of all, before I started poetry, it was around grade 10. When I'm a commerce student, I was like, commerce student, I don't think I can do poetry. But this man keep pushing me and telling me that your field of study doesn't matter, the type of the talent you want to showcase out,
Exactly.
because if it is already in you, there is no way that can stop it. So though it is not easy being a commerce student also writing or doing poetry, because there are so many challenges, especially when it comes to the family members. They will ask you to stop, because poetry and commerce field, it is somehow diverse. So but it depends on how you create time for it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only.
So it's important. Many people have this mindset, and Ibrahim is trying to tell us, you cannot just say I am a commerce student, or I am a science student, or I am an agriculturist student. That is the reason why I cannot be a poet or a writer or whatsoever. If you are a commerce student, still now you can be a writer, because it depends on who you are. I mean, let me say, most of the time, this talent that we have is something that we're born with. So if you're born with something, I mean, if you try by all means to work on that, you solely see the potential that is in you. So I believe it's important for people to know it's not only our students that are writers, I believe.
Yeah, because we are all vested with talents. Like if you say only our students are the writers, then what
It's
about the
crazy.
music? We
Exactly.
have so many artists that are not, that are studying different fields apart from arts, and
Exactly.
they are good and they are going back.
Yes.
So,
but there's a point that you touched about when I was asking you about the arts field stuff like that.
yeah,
You made mention about when you are an art student, I believe. So it's because
commerce.
of sorry commerce.
Yeah.
You are a commerce student. So because of that, your parents were trying to say you don't need to do this writing stuff because of you are not. Why do they have that mindset? Was it because of the field that you're studying, or because of they're looking down upon those who are writers out there, or they're just saying, like, many people have this allegation also, like, if you are in the poetry industry, you will never reach. So do they have that mindset? That is the reason why they were
No,
trying
actually, the thing is like they are all educated. They know how the commerce field is, how challenging it is.
Okay.
Like you need more time to work on your other subjects, financial accounting, cost accounting. Those are areas that you need ample time to do it. So
Exactly.
when you engage yourself in the poetry, the first time I told my mother about it, then she was like, hope you'll be able to make it because you are a commerce student and you have things to do. Then I told her, let me just try. Then from there, she saw that the poetry is now pulling me out of the school. Like those days, I really even sitting in class, teacher is explaining, I will write it.
You're right.
Write it. So
Sure.
there was a time that I also realized that yes, she's right. This is distracting me. Then I post, but this is something I love doing. So we cannot just post it like that. So after that, when I released my first video, which is the repentance, so I came from school. I was going upstairs. I heard the sound of the TV. She was watching the video. So when I stood up there and waited till the video is finished. Then I went to greet her. She said, "Yeah, I'm just watching your video. It is good.
Exactly.
Keep it up." And then all of a sudden I tapped to the page and saw her comment there. Then she's encouraged. And that's how.
Sure, definitely, and it's important. When you have passion in yourself, that passion will push you on whatever you're doing because it's something that you love doing. So whatever you are doing, you must be involved. You must involve yourself into it, no matter what, no matter how it takes. You must make it, inshallah. So, anyways, that's also fine. I just pray that the Almighty help you through this because I believe it's important to be a very good writer. I mean, it's important. So we're talking about writing. And whenever we talk about writing, our mind always goes to this subject in school that we're doing. And I learned that you're a common student, so probably you are not doing it in school. But then, as a writer, there's no way that you must have a clue about that subject, which is this literature that we're talking about. I believe you know. So, how do literature contributed in the writing, in the history of writing? How do you see it?
I can say literature is the root of like what I'm doing, poetry. Literature is the root of poetry because poetry is another segment on the literature.
Sure.
Yeah, so literature contributes a lot because it teaches you so many things that you need in your poem, that the ingredients that what you are writing is.
Exactly.
It's all found on the literature. So
exactly.
In order to be a good writer, like what we said, you must be a good reader. Okay. So literature is also another pillar that can help you develop your reading skills or your writing skills.
So what must be those ingredients that you're talking about in literature?
Like you have it teaches you about rhymes,
yes,
rhythms,
okay,
and so many ingredients.
The literary device, I believe. I think it's important. I mean, literature itself, I mean, is very important when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
If you can see, like, we have, I don't know, is it genre of literature or branches of literature? We have three of them: the prose, poetry, and the drama.
Yeah.
So then poetry is a branch in literature.
Yeah.
So it's important when you are a poet, and you cannot be a poet without being a writer, I believe. So it's important for you to know what literature is, especially the literary devices that are in it. But I know, actually, you are not a literature student though, but then you must have a clue about it because you are a writer. Looking into the literature subject that we're doing in school, I mean, many students do run away from it, and yet still, the next minute, what they will say, I'm a writer or I'm a poet.
Yeah.
So why do you think these people hate this subject? And this subject is a very good element when it comes to their career or what they are doing actually, which is the writing stuff. So why do you think students do run away from it and still they will come again and then say they are a writer or whatsoever?
Maybe there's this something that they fail to understand, which is nothing good comes easy. So if you want to be a good writer,
Okay.
You must try and make literature book as your friend.
Exactly.
When I started poetry, Mr. Penn gave me one of his books, which was just a small book, because he learned that I'm a commerce student, and he gave me that book to read. But then I didn't take it serious. But there was a time that I needed it.
Sure, definitely.
There was a time that I needed it. So it is very important to study literature.
Exactly.
As a poet or as a writer or anything that we are doing, because literature contains a lot when it comes to writing. So most students running away from literature, maybe they fail to understand that nothing good comes easy, because they think it is hard.
Sure, definitely. And you are not a literature student.
No.
But do you have any time for that subject, like a specific time for it?
Yeah, like for me, when school resumes, I close everything that has to do with poetry. But when school closes, then literature book is there. I read. I forgot the title of the book. But anyways, I read a book which taught me a lot about poetry.
Okay.
That's why I get reference and others.
Yeah, it's important for you to read. In the Gambia, it's important to prioritize literature, I believe.
Yeah.
So, do you think literature as a subject, do you think should be like, as we see right now, commerce students are writers, science students are writers, art students are writers, all of them are writers, and yet still we say like this subject contribute a lot on what they are doing, which is the writing stuff.
Yeah.
So do you think literature should be a subject that should be distributed to all fields?
Like, you mean a core subject?
Yes.
But like the problem is, if it is a core subject, there are some people, like if you count the commerce field, you will only have like 2 writers or 3 writers. So the rest, they all run away from literature.
Exactly. Then literature is a subject.
But literature is a subject that if you are a writer and you want something from it, or you are aiming to write something that attracts people's attention, then you need to read literature.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then it's important, guys. Ebrima is trying to say, like, we have to make sure that when you are a writer, please, even if you are not doing literature in your own field of study, try by all means to make it a part-time subject, I can say. Wherever you are free, you try by all means to read it. So from there, we'll go for a short commercial break and we'll be right back, inshallah. Thank you.
Do you have a dream of becoming a video editor, graphic designer, or WordPress web developer? Our digital skills training courses at skills.gm will help you in making your dreams a reality. We provide intensive hands-on courses that can help you harness the creativity in you. Our video editing course will enable you to create professional videos for home, work, or for social media handles. Being a graphic designer is among the most rewarding digital skills nowadays. We will help you acquire relevant design skills to enable you to design and manipulate pixel-based images and vector graphics for print and display. Almost every business wants to have an online presence in this digital era. We will guide you on how to create secured and professional-looking websites, blogs, and online stores. We encourage our students to engage in innovative, critical thinking, coupled with collaborative learning concepts and projects. For more information, call 7048-155 or visit our website at www.skills.gm/training.
Okay, after that commercial break, we're back. As you all know, this is your favorite program, live on SS Media. Today I have my guest speaker here. I mean, a very talented somebody, I can say. I mean, who is no other one but Ebrima, the philosophical poet. Ebrima, if you can continue. Ebrima is a poet, I believe. And there was this poetry event that we witnessed together, and I've learned that Ebrima was there. and how, out of 18 contestants, I believe there were 18 contestants on the very day. I mean, how did Ibrahima manage to come out the first position? On that very day. How do you manage? Because I learned that it was not only about, because all the contestants, despite the contestants, some of them were in group. Ibrahim managed to penetrate all those people and come out, was announced as the victory on that very day. So how do you manage to conquer all those people, Ibrahim?
Though it was not an easy task, though, but by the help of I'm also having a team, but that day I came individually. I salute every member of YTA Youth Talent Association by the help of them and the talent hunters also in Bursubi. By the help of them, I got perfect rehearsals with them and then make sure everything is perfect and presented on that day.
Okay, Ibrahim, that's interesting, and I believe you were very something. I mean, I don't have to just finalize and say you were very something, but then I have to ask you this. How do you feel when Ibrahim was announced? When the victory was given to you, the crown was given to you, I believe. So how do you feel on that very day? Because it was definitely something that is impressive. Coming on stage, performing, and then at the end, you are given the crown, or you are crowned as the first position. So I believe it's something that we must celebrate for. So how do you feel on that very day?
I was very happy though, but I believe it was something that I put more effort on, because even after I performed, I realized I already know who took the first person, because I feel it.
So
like that day.
Does it mean you weren't expecting it, or you were expecting such?
No, not that I was not expecting. I believe myself though, but then the other points that were that participated there,
yes.
participated there. I don't know a lot of them, so I don't know their potentials. But what I got in me was like, if I go, I will deliver my best, and then I believe the first person will
be yours. That's interesting, and you were crowned as the first position, which I believe it was very nice to you, and that night was just superb, I believe. So Ibrahima, as a contestant, I believe you were contesting with your fellow mates out there, and you were crowned as the first position out of 18 contestants. Do you have an ambition of going for another episode when the when the championship event is being conducted again? Do you have an ambition of going there?
Yes, so like few days after the competition that passed, few days, the other flyer came out, which is the second edition. Okay. I posted it, few. Get ready, we're going again. So we already preparing for the ones.
So Ibrahima is ever ready to conquer that.
Yeah, as a point you should be ever ready.
So how prepared are you now for that one?
Just waiting for the team, like the title of the that piece we are
competition.
Yeah.
So you're just waiting for that one. What was the title of that?
Notopus.
Huh?
Notopus.
Notopus. I mean, that's interesting. How do you manage then to penetrate all those things? Because are you a Kus advocating, or what knowledge do you have about Kus?
No, the time this that flyer came out, it meant that one of my friend's brother, okay, back in Bara where I was staying, he was killed by that drug, Kus. So when I noticed that, I was even writing about it. Then before I saw the flyer, but I was not interested in the competition, because I thought like I'm in grade 12 right now. If I talk to my mom about it, she will say no. Okay. Then I just forget about it. But when I wrote the poem and then I saw the flyer and I saw contestants are many, then I just said, let me throw my hat in the ring. So then I just bought the form and then be part of the competition and just edit the poem. The edition of the poem, the last two stanzas of the poem, I wrote it 2 days before the competition. Okay. So when we say tomorrow is the competition, that night I don't sleep. I spend all the night cramming, talking to myself in the living room. So
that's interesting.
At the time, my siblings will be like, this one is going mad.
And on the whole, they don't know what is ahead of you.
They don't know where I'm going.
And that was the victory that you were going for. And it's important. You talk about like something that, I mean, Ibrahima, does it mean like all your poems, I mean, you're just motivated by something? That is the reason why you come up with all these.
My first poem that I released, that I visualized and released, was Repentance. Repentance, I got the inspiration in the Mox Friday prayer. Then the imam was doing the khutbah and he was saying something like our repentance, it is not too late to repent. Then I was in the mosque, I couldn't write, I waited till I went home. They were even having lunch. Ibrahim, come for that. I told them, okay, I'm writing about it.
Okay.
So after 2 days, record it. The following week we shoot it and release it.
Wow, that's amazing. And Ibrahim, definitely, it seems like, I mean, not even it seems, but then you definitely have passion on writing then.
Yeah.
Because you normally go into society and then see what is going on, and that will motivate you for you to go and write. And this is important. As a writer or as an advocate, whatever you see in your society, to make people to know, to be aware of what is going on, is good for you to take note onto that. And then when you go home, and in your comfort zone, have your time and then write it and then release it to people to know what is actually going on. So this is very important, and I encourage you to keep on that momentum, and it's important for you also to make sure that people know what actually is in their society.
Yeah.
So bravo to you, and I believe that is important. So still now at the Poetry Championship event, it was organized by the WG Production.
WG Production, Jan Boy
Pro.
As a Jan Boy Pro.
Jan Boy Pro, and then you did well, and that was the victory that was crowned to you. And I asked you, do you have an ambition of going for another episode or for another edition? You said yes, you were prepared. So I was asking you, how prepared are you? You said how to call it. You just waiting for the team to come out, and then you go and rock it. You know, before, like when the title of the first edition was out, you were kind of discouraged. You said, let me just, or if I tell it to my mom, stuff like that, maybe probably they will discourage me because I'm going to get draft, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then you are eager for this episode to come on, for you to also go in for another one. So is it that because of the victory that you got there, that motivates you for you to also now don't have any, let me say, any excuse, but then you just want to hit it when the team is out? Because you were having two minds for the first episode, but the second episode you don't have two minds. You just need to know what actually the team is, and then you rock it. So
you know, the first edition, what was trying to distract me, it was like the grade 12. So this time around, and I learned something from that, which is now preparing that point will not distract your education. Just a week, you are done with it, and wait for a day, 1 day.
Okay.
So this time around, I'm just waiting for the team. When it is released, I start writing early before it uploads. Then when I'm done with it, then pack it and concentrate with my education. Then when it is time, we go and deliver it, and then.
Okay, that's important. I was like thinking maybe it's because of the victory that you had. That is what is now trying to motivate you to go in for.
Yeah, the victory could be also another reason. Because, because like when if anybody who heard that Ibrahim was the winner of the first edition and he is going to the second edition, we eager to come and witness.
Exactly, and that would boost up their, I mean, the producer, I can say, the one who organized it, and it's important.
Jan Boy Pro, shout out to you, man.
Yes, thank you so much, and I believe he deserves a credit. And you also, I mean, bravo to you once again, and congrats for that. And I pray that next episode or next edition also, inshallah, you make it, inshallah, I believe. So Ibrahima, let's now go into the Gam-writers. I mean, as a Gambian writer, I believe, you know, there must be something that you must be facing which is very challenging. And what actually are you facing in the industry, Ibrahima?
The industry, the most important thing that we needed the most is what we are lacking right now. It is the support from the one who are already there, our brothers and sisters who are already there. For me, I don't blame them because as a writer, you should believe yourself. What they did until they are there, if you do it, you will be there. So you should not blame them.
It's just the determination.
Determination and then consistency. Exactly. So they are there. Maybe, I will not say all of them, but some of them, only few are helping those who are under. People like us. Then you will text somebody for collaboration or for him to invite you in his poetry album launching. He will not even view your message until and unless he or she has something that he or she want to share. Then he will send you the flyer. You post for him or her. At the end of the day, that's all.
That is the self-interest, right?
Self-interest.
So we have to try by all means to avoid that then, as elders of in the industry, I believe. So it's important to be helping the youngsters who are out there I mean, having this passion in them that they want to be a good writer like you. So it's important for the elder ones to make sure that things work, because I mean, it's important, I believe. So Ibrahima, as a Gambian young writer, I mean, you made mention about the elders not supporting, which is something that we also have to advocate for. So they have to time. So is that the only challenge that we're facing as a Gambian young writer?
No, before we close that chapter, let me just say this here also. I wish the gum poetry industry will have many people like Brain Secret. Brain Secret. That one also is another Brain Secret.
Brain Secret.
Yeah, he's also another poet he's also there, but he spent most of the time communicating to those in the younger ones and helping them.
That's important.
The Brain Secret. So keep it up, my boss. And then the other thing that we are lacking is fun.
Fun.
Yeah,
that is global problem.
Cash.
Cash is
the common students, we say cash.
Yeah, it's always a
so
problem.
cash is something. Let me say money.
Yeah, money. They don't handle money. Okay.
It is something that is poetry. When you are doing poetry, you have to visualize it. You have to record it, and because if you write it and keep it in a book, Gambians reading is not their culture. So you must visualize it. You must record it and visualize it, and that's also another expenses.
Okay.
So recording money, visualize money.
Everything money. So Ibrahim, that's interesting. I mean, there should be someone who are out there who should help the young ones who have this aspiration in them to, bring something on the table. I mean, Ibrahim, do you have an ambition of launching a book or an album? I mean, do you have any ambition of launching any of those?
Yeah, currently we are working on something like album immediately after WAS examination, which is 2025 with someone, but it's going to be a surprise.
Okay, I think most of the writers, poets, whatever they are doing, they do it in
something in the form of collaboration with another very, very good poets.
Okay.
So we wait for it.
Wait, definitely, that's interesting. Then I'm eager to know what is in there and what must be that album all about. Well, since then I've been saying the philosophical power, the philosophical power. Well, what do you mean by the philosophical? I mean, who is philosophical poet and why the title?
This title was given to me by my mentor, poet Mr. Penn, back we were in Bara, and the word philosophical has to do with anything that has to do with philosophy, and philosophy is the study of fundamental questions about our life, existence, and so on. So my name as a philosophical poet reflects my passion of exploring deep ideas and expressing them through creativity or poetry.
And that's what you're doing right now, to express that thing in you. I mean, it's like your name is in reality, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you call yourself, your mentor call you, or your mentor name you after a philosophical poet. And philosophy, you talk about, it deals with, you expressing, you talk about also when you're trying to say here, the awareness, you make people to be aware of something. So as a philosopher, I believe it's important for you to be doing all those things. So your name, the name will not, and it's important, I believe. That's very important. And that's very important. Yeah, okay, the philosophical poet. When you are called as the philosophical poet, that is just a nickname to you. So you can just tell us, who Ibrahima is. Who is Ibrahima then?
Okay, Ebrima this is a young man from the heart of the Gambia who was born, though I was born in Senegal, but then I spent most of my lifetime here in Nugukebe, NBR. That's why I did my primary, junior level, and then come to Gambia Muslim Senior Secondary School, where I am currently in grade 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that is
since when I was less than 1 year, then I came to Gambia since now. Okay,
since then, now when do you start this passion in you? Like, when do you realize that you're good in writing then?
This was during the pandemic, 2019. By then school was closed, and then I was like, why am I sitting doing nothing? By then, though I have other skills that I'm doing, but then I think just closing the book like that without doing anything that has to do with education is not something that is helpful to me.
Sure.
By then I was hearing poetry, but I don't know. Then the first poem that I listened was poet Mr. Penn featuring Mr. Principal, Saho Singate and other poets, and I listened to that poem and then it hits deep. Then that's the time I got the inspiration and I fell in love with poetry.
Wow.
Still now I'm dealing with poetry.
Oh, that's interesting. And
So-
I realized that like you love poetry, and I mean you have been writing poems, right?
Yeah.
It means
Since 2019.
Okay, that's important. So there must be a piece that you love the most that is very interesting to you. So can you just give us a freestyle with that, please, as a poet? Then?
Yeah, I love all my poems. They are only poems, but let me just give you something.
Okay, you love that.
This. I wish I could wear my pains for you to see the unseen behind the scene with my past were recorded like a movie for you to replay whenever you doubt me. So don't blame me, I shall not blame you if you don't believe me, cause even sugar looks like salt. So no doubt the truth can smell fiction. Name the price for your attention, I shall pay then guide you through the darkest part of my life and come back. At first, let's talk about the days when tears dropped from my smiling face, when I felt so melancholy, me versus depression, anxiety, the referee, my society, the substitutes when I had no soldier to cry on. Walking all alone in the darkest zone of life, surrounded by demons craving my blood. But never had an iota of fear, cause food for hate is what fear makes. I still can remember walking around with my Tonya Keso chanting words of wisdom from heaven with my Doko being classified as the package of the beast. But wait, let's talk about my sister you raped. You forced to unlock the potentials in her that shouldn't be traced by you. And you still call yourself a man. You never want her to be your treasure, instead your source of sexual pleasure. A small girl she is, but do you even care? A heartless man is what defines you, and orange wear really suits you. You took her virginity, not rightfully but forcefully. You are a disgrace to humanity. Now tell me, what will you tell the baby that might be a result of your deeds? How will you explain yourself to your kids? Asking if you are in a same sounds similar to asking myself my name, then not necessary. But how could you dread-heartedly took the best version of her without a bright price? A rape case is at the door knocking, but who is there to open? Face it, tackle it, and make sure justice is fair. But do they even care? Because of bribery, the rapists walk freely in the society while the rapist is at home with pain, hopeless of respect, trauma, and more. That's money over the enacted laws for a moment. Think and pose, or bet the touch of her husband when he knocks on open door. How will you feel when your door was unlocked without the right to ski? Jarulache, sa hol dona la firne, nothing to ask, sa hell dona la say, hey, be thoughtful. Do you even compare the pleasure and the punishment? The day will be selected to face the judgment. Do you even include this in your daily thought that this journey must come to an end? So what do you have to take along? Oncle reb na jarbaat waaye ba tey loolu xem bi dem ko xambaan ndax dafa fay kon dina ko def defaat hear me out lii dina fi am amaat cause money is over the enacted laws. They call the house of truth, but the fact is behind doors. Xanaa léegi rib daf fi bëgg a doon aada ndax kii jaay na doole ba jaay doole doomi kum daan àndal. Est-ce que jarate na sax mu lal sa jaada ndax kii dafa tooñ ba tooñ borom téere bi koy jàngal. Disgrace to the family of Mam Adama Awa ndax kii dafa iba bunda bu kenn du tëjaat. So he is the molester.
Uncle Reb na jarbaat. Mashallah. Uncle Reb na jarbaat kon not Reb. Okay? Well, definitely this is interesting. I don't know what to say because this is amazing. I am definitely impressed with the words that you have just wrote here. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, like seriously, this is the philosophical poet. Well, thank you so much for that piece. And sugar is like a salt. I mean, it's like salt. I mean,
Yeah.
so to you out there, the philosophical poet is trying to send a message to you people and not to rape. Okay. For that being the case, the philosophical poet, we're going to end the program here. And with that, I would love you to give out your closing remark to the wonderful listeners out there. What message are you going to send to them as they are listening to philosophy?
What I'm gonna say is like, I just hope you all have fun though. The next thing is expect a massive comeback after grade 12, inshallah. After grade 12, a massive comeback. Every month a video upon video. You come in, fill up the venue. It's gonna be a surprise. And then before we close this, I just need to thank my mentors and all of my teams that are working behind me. YTA, Youth Talent Association, and also Talent Hunters. A man like Omar Jaju, man of wisdom, poet Mr. Penn, poet Mr. Principal, and the entire team of YTA and Talent Hunters. And also favorite wife, DJ, man of wisdom, and also the greatest of all time, Umikani. This girl is also another source of inspiration to me, Poetess BB Koma. baby Koma and my little princess Ida. I salute you all. Expect a lot to be coming.
Okay, thank you so much. Guys, the philosophical point, and nothing has happened yet, but then so you people have to be prepared for that day. He said after grade 12, something massive is coming on your way. So I believe you people have to be prepared for that day. And I am eager to be there, inshallah.
All those massive comebacks, they're already done. We recorded everything done.
So
we're just waiting for you.
For grade 12 to go?
Yeah.
Oh, then I pray that the Almighty help you through that, inshallah, because I believe you can do it. So to the audience down there, I mean, thank you so much for listening to us, and more especially you as my guest speaker today, Ibrahim Asi, known as the philosophical point. I am definitely grateful, and SS Media is grateful on seeing you on their platform today, and it's definitely an honor, of course. So with that, we'll love to say goodbye to you people, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, and then share our videos, as SS Media is always there for you people. So with that, thank you so much, and see you on our next episode. Bye bye.